The city, once a vibrant hub, now stood cloaked in an unsettling blue light. Street lamps, warped and contorted by some unseen force, cast long, grotesque shadows. Buildings, once proud symbols of human achievement, now resembled decaying teeth against a bruised sky. Gone were the familiar sounds of traffic, replaced by an unsettling silence, broken only by the whisper of wind through shattered glass. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a silence that screamed of absence. The air itself felt heavy, thick with the metallic tang of something alien and wrong. It clung to the back of the throat, a constant reminder of the invader's presence. Above, the stars were hidden, obscured by a swirling mass of clouds that pulsed with the same unnerving blue light. It was as if the very heavens had been infected, twisted into a mockery of their former selves. This was not the world they knew, not anymore. The world they knew was gone, vanished in a cataclysm of fire and fear. Now this eerie alien landscape was all that remained, a constant chilling reminder of the day the sky had cracked open and everything had changed. Deep beneath the silent city, a small group of survivors huddled in the claustrophobic confines of an old, forgotten bunker. The air was thick with the smell of sweat, fear, and stale air. Flickering gas lamps cast grotesque shadows on the concrete walls, reflecting the terror that gnawed at their hearts.
Clutching her brother's hand, his small fingers are my only comfort in this subterranean prison.
John, their self-proclaimed leader, paced like a caged animal, his face a mask of worry. Each creak of the metal door, every groan of the aging structure sent shivers down their spines.
We're trapped like rats in a cage. Our world is reduced to this concrete tomb.
The outside, with its eerie blue glow and silent menace, was both a threat and an unknown. They were survivors, yes, but for how long? Days bled into weeks. The blue glow outside intensified, then faded, replaced by a muted, sickly daylight. The decision was made. They had to leave the sanctuary of the bunker to face the wasteland that awaited. The surface was a landscape transformed. Dust, thick and grey, coated everything, turning the once vibrant world into a monochromatic nightmare. Buildings stood like skeletal sentinels, their empty sockets staring out at the desolation. The air was still, heavy with the smell of ash and decay. Not a bird sang, not an insect dared to break the silence. Even the wind, when it finally came, seemed to carry the whispers of the vanished, their cries echoing through the skeletal remains of the city. A small group of figures. They moved like ghosts through this graveyard of their past. Each footstep in the ash felt like a violation, a stark reminder of all they had lost. They walked for days, their footsteps the only sound in the oppressive silence. The landscape remained unchanged, a desolate canvas of greys and browns stretching endlessly towards the horizon. The sun, a pale disk in the hazy sky, offered no warmth, only a constant watchful presence. Food was running low, water even more so. Each night, huddled around their meager fire, they would share stories of the past, clinging to memories of a world that felt like a distant dream. But even their memories were fading, replaced by the stark reality of their present.
Remember when the world was full of color and life? It feels like a dream now.
Then one day the silence was broken. A low hum, barely audible at first, but growing steadily louder. It was a mechanical sound, alien and chilling, like the rasping breath of some colossal beast.
Do you hear that? Something's out there watching us.
Fear, cold and sharp, cut through the group. They exchanged uneasy glances, their eyes wide with terror. Something was out there, watching them. It appeared on the horizon, a shimmering mirage against the hazy sky.
A colossal metallic shape, defying gravity with its impossible angles and curves.
It moved with an eerie grace, its surface reflecting the pale sunlight like 1,000 malevolent eyes.
Panic threatened to consume them.
Run, we need to find cover.
But where could they hide in this barren wasteland?
The drone, for that's what it was, cast a long, ominous shadow, engulfing them in its chilling embrace.
Closer it came, its mechanical hum growing into a deafening roar.
Look at those details, the lights, the symbols. What is this thing?
This was technology beyond their comprehension, a terrifying testament to the power of their alien overlords.
We're just ants beneath the gaze of a god.
And yet, something within them, some primal instinct, refused to let them surrender to despair.
We've survived this long. We can't give up now. Run!
John's desperate cry tore through the air.
And run they did, their legs pumping, their lungs burning.
They scattered like frightened rabbits, hoping against hope that the drone might not see them all.
The ground vibrated beneath their feet as the drone swooped low, its shadow engulfing them like a shroud.
The air was filled with the roar of its engines, the metallic screech of its moving parts.
Dust swirled around them, blinding, choking.
Sarah stumbled, her ankle twisting beneath her.
Pain shot up her leg, but she couldn't stop. Not now.
She scrambled to her feet, her brother's hand pulling her forward.
We have to keep going.
They ran blindly, their only thought survival.
Behind them, the drone's hum grew louder, closer.
It was toying with them, herding them like sheep.
But to what end? What fate awaited them at the hands of this metallic predator?
They stumbled into the skeletal remains of a building, its concrete shell offering a semblance of cover.
Inside, the air was thick with dust and the ghosts of memories.
Sarah could almost hear the echo of laughter, the clatter of dishes, the comforting rhythm of a life long gone.
They huddled together in the gloom, their chests heaving, their bodies trembling with exertion and fear.
The drone's hum resonated through the ruined structure, a constant reminder of the danger lurking outside.
It's gone.
For now at least.
Relief, fragile and fleeting, washed over them.
But they knew this was only a temporary reprieve.
They were still trapped in this alien nightmare, their every move watched by unseen eyes. As the sun began its descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the ruins, John gathered the group together. His voice, though still laced with fear, held a newfound determination.
We can't stay here. We need to keep moving. Find somewhere safe, somewhere we can regroup.
His words sparked a flicker of hope in their hearts. Yes, they were hunted, but they were not broken. They still had each other, and as long as that was true, they still had a chance. A plan began to form, fueled by desperation and a sliver of defiance. They would travel by night using the cover of darkness to evade the watchful eyes of the drones. Their destination, the mountains to the east, where legend spoke of an old government facility, a potential haven in this ravaged world. Under the cold, watchful gaze of the alien moon, they emerged from their temporary shelter. The landscape, bathed in the pale, otherworldly glow, seemed even more alien, more menacing, but they had no choice. Their survival depended on reaching the mountains. They moved like phantoms, their footsteps silent in the dust. The air was filled with the sounds of the night, the mournful cry of the wind, the distant howl of some unknown creature. Each rustle of leaves, every creak of a branch sent shivers down their spines. Days turned into weeks, each day a struggle for survival. They scavenged for food, their bodies growing lean and weary. They drank from muddy puddles, their throats parched and raw, but still they pressed on, their determination fueled by a flicker of hope and the bonds of loyalty that held them together. The mountains loomed larger with each passing day, a beacon of hope in the desolate landscape. Their journey was fraught with peril. They encountered strange, mutated creatures, the remnants of the alien invasion, their bodies twisted into grotesque parodies of life. They navigated treacherous landscapes, scarred and reshaped by the cataclysm that had befallen their world. But through it all, they persevered. Each step forward, no matter how small, was a victory against the odds, a testament to their resilience. They had stared into the abyss and refused to blink. They had faced their fears and found the strength to carry on.
Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we reached the foothills of the mountains.
Towering above them, their peaks lost in the clouds, the mountains represented more than just a geographical destination. They were a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, there was still beauty, still strength to be found. Their journey was far from over. The mountains, though awe-inspiring, were also treacherous and unforgiving. Dangers, both seen and unseen, lurked within their shadowed valleys and windswept peaks, but they were no longer the same people who had huddled in that underground bunker, paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. They had been tested, tempered in the fires of adversity. They had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger, their spirits unbroken. As they ventured into the unknown, their steps were lighter, their hearts filled with a cautious optimism. The wasteland had broken them, yes, but it had also remade them. They were survivors, and they would rebuild their world, even if it meant starting over, one step at a time.